Have you ever wondered how the most dangerous women found their fateful destinies? In a setting marked by intrigue, courage, and twists, the journeys of these women are filled with events that shaped not only their lives, but also left an indelible mark. In this journey, we will explore the winding paths that led some of the most notorious female figures to their ultimate conclusion. La Catrina, Maria Guadalupe López Esquivel. We will learn about one of the notable women in the ranks of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, Maria Guadalupe López Esquivel, also known in the criminal world as La Catrina. She was part of the network of female operatives in the cartel, led by El Mencho, characterized by being young and attractive to mislead opponents. As the group grew to become one of the most significant cartels in the drug trafficking scene in Mexico, its leaders expanded their criminal strategies by recruiting women. Local reports suggest she was involved in various illicit activities for the feared cartel. She was described as a cold, calculating, and intelligent woman. Her traits allowed her to join the ranks of the formidable cartel, one of the most powerful in Mexico, active in 22 states since 2017. The group launched a campaign in 2017 to gain control over the illicit fuel trade in Guanajuato, and the United States considers this criminal group responsible for sending tons of cocaine, methamphetamine, heroin, and fentanyl into its territory. La Catrina was a notable lieutenant who was under the scrutiny of Mexican authorities, believed to be involved in a significant incident against elements of the Michoacan State Police in October 2020. On that occasion, La Catrina was sent by Miguel Fernandez to Aguaje with the mission to target police officers and leave messages claiming responsibility for the act. In a leaked recording, instructions were heard from the leader to the young woman, who assured that the mission would be carried out as planned. Her days of involvement in criminal activities were about to come to an end. In December 2020, La Catrina was found in a safe house in the Tierra Caliente region, where Mexican security forces were preparing to dismantle the site after receiving an anonymous tip about armed individuals. The alert notified the occupants, later identified as alleged members of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. As they attempted to escape before the operation arrived, a confrontation ensued, resulting in the detention of 6 individuals. Although not identified immediately, subsequent videos showed the injured person awaiting a helicopter for medical assistance. The incident tragically ended her involvement in criminal activities. These examples illustrate that women have carved out a space for themselves among the criminal groups in Mexico, whether as money launderers or as armed members instilling fear throughout the country. Adriana Miranda, also known as Drica do Po, was 21 years old when she became a victim of a criminal faction in Igarapé Miri in northeastern Brazil. The images that circulated on social media suggest that Adriana was involved in a conflict within the faction. Before the tragic event, she is seen trying to explain an incomplete delivery. She attempts to convince others that she did not know someone named Didi, and that she had only gone to a location to drop off a friend before quickly returning. In a tense moment, visibly nervous, Adriana claims she refused to make the delivery and suggested asking a delivery person to take the package instead. These disputes with rival organizations lead us to the story of a woman known as Lucy Cruz on one Facebook profile and as Castillo Hernandez on another. The individual, better known as La Cholita, was a member of the Viagras, sharing videos and photos on social media to showcase her affiliation with the criminal group operating in Michoacan. In that territory, she often mocked and challenged the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG. In her profile pictures, she attempted to hide her face with emojis and shared selfies holding large caliber weapons with a pistol at her belt, radios, and magazines, along with a distinctive tattoo on her right arm depicting 3 skulls in a horizontal line surrounded by flames. The rivalry with the CJNG prompted her to post a video where she laughed at the men led by Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, known as El Mencho, for allegedly abandoning their weapons after a supposed confrontation. What she did not realize was that she was inciting the wrath of one of the world's most feared drug traffickers. La Cholita was under the orders of Nicolas Sierra Santana, known as El Coruco, who also challenged El Mencho and invited him to fight on several occasions since early 2019. Since then, criminal organizations have launched various threats and brutal confrontations, with Michoacán as the epicenter of violence. In the region, the CJNG competes for power with the so-called United Cartels, which group together cells like the Viagras, the New Michoacan Family, and the Blancos de Troya. Besides drug trafficking, the region is responsible for 70% of the world's avocado production, as well as a significant portion of global lime and papaya production, thus possessing abundant natural resources. This wealth, combined with drug trafficking routes, leads traffickers to fight to extort agricultural producers. With the daily increase in rivalry and violence, La Cholita released a recording showcasing various firearms bearing the CJNG's four-letter seal. In the brief video, members of the Viagras cartel can also be seen displaying rifles, ammunition, and tactical gear belonging to El Mencho's forces. Dissatisfied with the challenging message, La Cholita mocked her rivals again in another video a few days later. After escaping an attack, she remarked that they left their trash behind and fled like chickens with their Jalisco boots. She shared this on social media along with the video, which definitely provoked the ire of the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, as was demonstrated shortly after. In December 2020, information began circulating on social media that La Cholita and some of her fellow traffickers were caught off guard by CJNG members while they were sleeping. This happened as El Mencho's group advanced to dominate the Tierra Caliente region. At that moment, La Cholita was reported missing. Mixi Padilla. For our final story, we have a narco TikToker wearing bulletproof vests from the Gulf Cartel, singing reggaeton rap songs and expressing her affection for an alleged leader of a faction within this criminal organization. Mixi Padilla showcased her life as a trafficker on social media. The young woman had recorded nearly 40 videos on TikTok for her over 11,000 followers to see the life she led, always armed and ready for action. In her recordings, she also displayed her outfits with the caption, Los Telines CDG Metros Brazo Armado, indicating her affiliation with one of the oldest cartels in Mexico. However, the life of this assassin was interrupted on the night of March 29, 2022, when 3 military vehicles from the National Defense Secretariat, patrolling the municipality of Miguel Alemán in Tamaulipas, pursued the Toyota truck where the criminals were located. The criminals were moving within a region known as a stronghold of the Gulf Cartel. When the Sedena convoy identified armed individuals in the white truck, the military approached rapidly. As the traffickers attempted to escape, they opened fire on the unit, which carried 5 assassins, including Mixi Padilla. According to reports released by security forces later, the truck collided with a building in Vilar, in front of a roundabout where several avenues in the city center converge, close to the United States border. In this area known as Frontera Chica, there was an intense shootout between gunmen and army personnel. Leaked images on social media showed how the truck, hit by a barrage of gunfire, came to an end. All occupants were killed, resulting in the deaths of 4 men, including the young Mixi, who was wearing the vests she had posed with in photos as a member of the CDG. The woman's body was recognized by a piercing in her lower lip and a tattoo on her left cheek. Among the victims, the leader of the faction known as El Tilín